CSW, and this is CSW TV. Shaolins are advertised as the tank class of swordsmen. When we think of tank classes, we think low damage. But that is not the case here, for the damage a Shaolin can do with their combo is not to be underestimated. A tank class with good damage. So what's the trade-off then? Is their combo insanely difficult to perform? Well, here is their viable combo. Staff thrust to acupuncture, then go into Mantle Ripple. And if you want, you can hit them a few times while they're on the ground too. Simple, right? Okay, so instead of finishing off with Mantle Ripple, you can hit them once or twice, use Typhoon, and then finish off with Risine Blow. Of course, you should only do this slightly longer combo if you actually have Typhoon off cooldown. So no, Shaolin's combo isn't that hard to perform either. But, have you looked at their acupuncture speed? This is slow. Let's be honest, you're not going to be straight up hitting anyone with that. So now what? Well, here's two skills that will help you. Tiger Leap and Risine Blow. While most sprung and launch skills are either grabs or require flaw expose, Tiger Leap is one of those skills that require neither. It can soft prone your opponent, can be used from the air, and has pretty good range. It does have one downside though, and that is you can't land it behind your opponent, making it a bit easy to avoid. Risine Blow is your grab. It's a pretty standard grab of average speed and launches your opponent. So now the question is, how does these two skills help? I mean, you can stack control skills, so you still have the same problem, no? Yes, while it is true that control skills cannot be stacked, that doesn't mean they cannot be chained. There are two techniques that you should know. The first technique is known as ground acu, but the same applies for any control skills. The second technique works by catching your opponent during recovery. I will explain both of these techniques in a later video, but for now, just know that ground acu requires good timing, so it's difficult to get at first. On the other hand, catching your opponent during recovery is easy, but it depends on whether your opponent recovers or not. So let's take a look at common skill choices. As I already explained, we want Staff Thrust, Mantle Ripple, Risine Blow, and Tiger Leap. That leaves you with a few more slots open. Typhoon technically isn't a necessity, but while it has some limited utilities as it does attach your opponent, its main purpose is for damage. However, I personally have not found a better skill to put in its place, and the general consensus is to use this skill. Next up is Storm Charger, not to be confused with the Splendor skill Storm Charge. This skill acts as a gap closer, but it has a much more interesting utility. It can prevent your opponent from recovering after you use Tiger Leap or Risine Blow. So, if you don't see it yet, this can be really helpful for when you attempt to ground acu your opponent. Then we have one more slot, and if I was level 60, I would have two more slots. These last two slots is more or less personal preference, so I'll tell you some of the skills I've seen used. One of the more classical skill choice is Tiger Stomp. This skill literally rolls your opponent, and makes you accelerate it at the same time. It has decent utility as it can be used as a gap closer, or for additional damage, or be cancelling the Risine Blow or Tiger Leap, or even just for the accelerated effect. Another classical choice is Stone Shield, also known as Self-Heal. However, heals are not very effective in Arena, but some people go for it anyway just to stall for a little bit longer. The two newer choices I've seen is called, I think, Vajra Blast and Arhat Sleep. Landing Vajra's Blast is like landing Mantle Ripple without acupuncture, while getting none of the damage. So I would not use this skill by itself. Arhat Sleep deal additional damage when used after Mantle Ripple, and it can also knock prone flaw exposed targets by itself. However, the real kicker is when these two skills are used together. When combining these two skills with the long combo, Shaolins can perform an extended combo which can allow you to win the fight right there and then if performed properly. So, like my other videos, I introduced more concepts that I haven't explained yet, so keep these concepts in mind for now and they will all be explained in due time. If you liked this video, then be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos.